Please don't scare us. Please don't scare us, sir. We already, with artificial intelligence being here, feel all the time that it's being scanned. We are under a scanner. So, good morning, everybody. Please sit back and enjoy the session. This is a topic which cannot be 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So, I myself am trying to make sense of it. And first and foremost, I am grateful to Dr. Bansal ma'am, Dr. Supriya ma'am, and all of you here who have pushed me into thinking what is to be done with this issue, stress, because all of us at some moment, some stage, at some phase of our life do experience this stress. Namaskar, ma'am. So I'm grateful to MUHS and the organizing team for giving this opportunity for self-expression. The topic which we are going to deal with is this, like this elephant, we don't know what we are dealing with, but we all know when we have it. Some of us experience it at a thinking level, some of us experience it at a feeling level, some of us show it at actions level, and by and large, to put it all in one basket, behavior shows it all. Now objectively it shows to another, not necessary that the sufferer is also experiencing the distress. The sufferer may be under distress but may not know that he or she needs help. So as teachers, as facilitators of our own students, we need to be aware whenever we see some change in pattern of behavior, thinking, feeling and actions of our colleagues, please record it. And when you see the pattern persisting, which is unnatural, which may appear to be normal, which may appear to be usual, सभी लोग सवेरा हुआ मंडे का तो अपसेट होते हैं कि क्यों दिन निकला आज का, सैटरडे संडे क्यों कंटिन्यू नहीं हुआ, लेकिन record those patterns. If they are there which are interfering the functioning, and if they are causing distress to the person who is and to the people around, then it needs to be attended. It shows up in smallest of the trivialest of the things. Recently, we had a situation where a postgraduate resident kept the status, the end, and vanished. The whole institute came under stress. All people, administration, the department, and the co-residents. And the search began, the person was found, and then the circumstances were studied. Actually, the person's situation was stressful. Anybody, we put ourselves in that person's place, which is also known as empathy. Then we notice that yes, the person is under stress, that there is a separated relationship, no specific strong bond in life, there is a child, and there is an exam to face in December. And in this situation where thesis is to be submitted, you find yourself posted as the youngest JR in an intensive care. What am I to do? The end is the only thing which I thought, and I went off. Now here, as administrators, we feel penal action is best because you have avoided duty. You have gone away from duty. Well, that cannot be the case. Life cannot be substituted with duty. Life is life, and there cannot be a substitute to life. That person has to be brought back to functioning level first, and then whatever action is necessary can be taken. So middle way out had to be found. Duty modification had to be done. If required, an extension post-exam could be given, was the suggestion, and treatment was to be instituted. Now, this was not just a counseling issue or pertaining to words and solving the situation with words, but this required some medication interventions also. So the point I would like to make is stress can show in any form. We have to, as facilitators, think of one, am I dealing with well-being? Am I dealing with mental distress, which is the commonest way it shows up? And if not, is it an illness? When patterns of abnormality become consistent and interfere functioning ongoing, then they have to be dealt with by professionals. It is not expected that as teachers and facilitators, we start treating suicidality. With all this background of the case, let's come to this. We all are going to have our own perceptions of what I am going to talk. Be with those perceptions. Try to see it objectively. Unfortunately or fortunately, we as humans see the world as we want to see it, not as the world it is. That is the whole issue with us. Okay, so with this error of perception, we proceed further to think first about, before we go into the stress phenomena, what is normal, healthy or stress proof thinking, feeling, action or behavior. Yes, I'll need inputs now. Is there anything called a stress proof behavior? We have been taught of normothermia, hypothermia and hyperthermia. In first year they teach us normothermia, and then in second year onwards we learn about hypo and hyperthermia. Similarly, let us think what could be normal behavior, what could be understandable natural behavior. Some inputs, please raise your hand so that I can come. Yeah.
Being aware of the current situation.
Okay, awareness of the current situation. Fine. What else?
Expression of feelings.
Expression of feelings. Vyakta to mukta, very rightly said, ma'am. And if we have to live in human society, we have to be aware of what is happening around us. Well taken point. Most important from all these 2 points is the third point. What is it? Not compulsory. If I'm feeling sad inside, why are you compelling me to show that I am happy?
Responsive behavior.
Responsive behavior instead of reactive behavior. Yes, not possible all the time. We expect a responsive behavior. Well, the situation may be such that it demands a reactive behavior. A death has happened in my family. COVID crisis has struck. 3 people in the family are dead, and I am alive. Why am I alive? I don't know. Do you expect me to respond, or do you expect me to react? React. So again, that's an issue. What will be normal? We don't know. Any further inputs? Acceptance. Yes, very, very important. Acceptance of what?
Acceptance of the situation, thing, or the person.
Okay.
In front of you, which you have to either meet, face, or deal with.
What we have to deal with, accepting it as it is. Before this, what do we need to accept? Yes. Yes, sir. Adjustment, adaptation to the situation, granted, but here comes the golden word. Accept ourself. Introspect is the process for it. Accepting ourselves as one is, not just accepting, gracefully accepting oneself. Okay, I know myself. I not only know myself, I gracefully accept myself. मला स्वतःचा जसं मी आहे त्याचा स्वाभिमान आहे. मग मी खोडकर असेल तर मी खोडकर असल्याचाही मला स्वाभिमान असला पाहिजे. Okay, that is the point I need to communicate. So let's look at what science says on this. WHO defines mental health as a state of well-being. It's not a trait. It is not continuous, consistent. It's a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential. मी कोण याची जाणीव सगळ्यात महत्वाची. Stress management is nothing but self-management, and can cope with normal stresses of life, can productively and fruitfully work, and finally make contribution to his or her community. Nowadays, by 30s or by early 35, 40, people feel that they have achieved crores of rupees, a relationship, family, and all the material successes. And now they feel that there is no point in continuing living. What do I do with this life? This question comes. I have no purpose left. असे तुम्हाला समाजामध्ये अनुभव ऐकायला बघायला मिळू शकतात. The answer is here, making contribution to one's community, and that can only come when the person knows the self well. Unless that self knowledge is, that self acceptance is, self expression cannot be. We are not here to fulfill anybody's wishes, not even our own. We are here to express our natural selves, and we are not taught this. We are always taught that you are incomplete, you are imperfect, and you are not whole, and we need a system to complete ourselves. as a result of this, we stop looking inside, we start focusing only outside. And this is a grave mistake to make, because that can really lead us astray. वेलबिंग, आता स्टेट ऑफ वेलबिंग कशाला म्हणायचं? रिलेटिव्ह का ऍब्सोल्यूट? परिस्थितीजन्य स्थितीत मी योग्य वागतोय हे योग्य आहे का मी इथे हॅट घालून घोड्यावर बसून लेक्चर देतोय हे योग्य आहे? एक्झॅक्टली, परिस्थितीजन्य. नॉर्मॅलिटी एज एन ॲव्हरेज, लाईक एव्हरीबडी बिहेव्स, आय एम ऑल्सो बिहेविंग, is a relative phenomena or an absolute phenomena? That again remains to be examined. So a state of well-being, subjective ka objective, that needs to be thought about. Why most people are blind to their own potentials? That I just mentioned. We are scared to think about our own selves, to look into our own selves. Isolation sends most of us into unbearable anxiety. आयसोलेशन मध्ये आपण स्वतःला जसे आहोत तसं मिरर समोर दिसायला लागतो इंटरनली, आणि ते मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपलला अमान्य असतं, आणि ह्या अमान्यतेमुळे आपण ते फेसच करत नाही. अनकॉन्शियसली लगेच डिफेन्सेस सुरू होतात. रुटीन स्ट्रेसेस साठी आपलं सिस्टम काय आहे? लाईक टुडे यू ऑल हॅड अ नेचर वॉक विथ द हेड ऑफ द इन्स्टिट्यूशन. एक तर हेड ऑफ द इन्स्टिट्यूशन बरोबर चालायचं म्हणजे डोक्यात हजार प्रश्न, पण तसं काही नाही ठेवायचे आणि निसर्ग एन्जॉय करायचा. इट्स अ पॅराडॉक्सिकल सिच्युएशन इन विच द हेड लेड अस इन टू. पण येस, मोस्ट ऑफ अस मस्ट हॅव एन्जॉयड. वाय डिड यू एन्जॉय इट?
कारण मॅडमचाच एन्थुझियाझम तेवढा होता की
ओके
आम्हाला एन्जॉयच करावं असं वाटलं, आणि त्यात
ओके, सो इट वॉज अ इन्फेक्शियस एन्थुझियाझम. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दॅट, yes, what did the environment do to you, ma'am?
Everything is there around, but we are so busy in our routine that we forget.
Yes, I stopped being myself. I forgot who I am. I forgot my past. I forgot my tomorrow anxiety, and I just came into the present moment, that is beingness. The system teaches us kuch karo, kuch karte raho. Most important is being. रहो, स्वस्थ रहो, असणे महत्वाचं आहे. Knowing, doing and being are the three levels at which we keep living. Most of our life as a doctor until that CBME came was up to knowing things. Now that CBME has pushed us into doing things, and soon we will realize that we are missing something grave, and that is beingness. AI has put us into these questions now. Most of the things that we do, the AI can do it precisely and accurately and mathematically. So what are we for? This question will soon become a norm of the day, and that day will need answers, and the answers will only be found in self, true self. Okay, not the perceived self, not the ideal self. So coping with routine stresses of life, we have our own systems. Spend time with self or laugh more. Humor, it's an important defense mechanism. It makes life livable. Practicing deep breathing, creating some routine, listening to the mental chatter. The mind is constantly on. It's on with तीन तसं का वागलं, तो असं का म्हणाला, हे असं का झालं, ते तसं नसतं झालं तर बरं झालं असतं, and so on. It never stops. It only stops when we are no more. Okay, so listen to the chatter. Make friends with that chatter instead of making foes with it. Then digital detox. This is a new problem of the day. Too much of virtual media exposure. Meditation, journaling. मला व्यक्त करायला कोणी नाही, मी कारण कोणावर विश्वास ठेवू शकत नाही. मी जर सांगितलं आणि तेच माझ्या विरुद्ध वापरलं तर कसं? हे अनेक इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉब्लेम्स आपल्याला आहेत. त्याच्यावरती उपाय म्हणजे जर्नलिंग करणे, कनेक्टिंग विथ अदर्स. मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट इज रिमेनिंग कनेक्टेड. And finally, what you did today morning was spending time in nature. Working productively and fruitfully, yet remaining stress-free. That is the challenge. And the only way out, the key is to be natural self. And finally, making a meaningful contribution. Many of us get these questions Recently, one medical student who joined MBBS after 3 attempts got into medical college and developed a negative emotional state, to which the surrounding would-be doctors aversively faced and said, "Ki you will commit suicide, we will be blamed, and you don't stay with us." This is the first year MBBS students' real experience of life. Not there, stopping not there, they communicated it with the parents saying कि इसने कल को आत्महत्या कर लिया तो सब हमारे पे आ जाएगा. This is how we deal with persons in distress. So we need to open eyes and look into what is happening in the system. There is so much fear about a person who is in distress. Okay, the question that this girl faced is, why am I alive? What am I to do? डॉक्टर बन के करूंगी भी क्या? थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में नीट यूजी करके वो मेडिकल स्कूल में आई है. ऐसी सिचुएशन में अगेन मेडिसिन्स एंड वर्ड्स, डू नॉट फील fearful of people. The difficulty anybody faces is purely an internal phenomena, nothing external about it. Expecting some sensitive environment that people will understand may be treated as a irrational expectation from the system. That is what the present state of affairs is. So to put all this complex definition of WHO in 3 simple slides: कॉग्निटिव्ह फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी असणे, मी म्हणतो तेच खरं, तुम्ही आहात तेच खरं, मी सगळं खोटं. रिजिडिटी नसणं म्हणजेच लवचिकता असणं, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी असणं इज हेल्थ. टू पुट इट इन वन वर्ड, रेझिलियन्स इज द अँटीडोट टू स्ट्रेस. नो मॅटर व्हॉट लाईफ थ्रोज ॲट यू, इन स्पाइट ऑफ ऑल दॅट यू आर देअर टू फेस दॅट लाईफ. No matter how much adversity does life throw at you, you are there to face and respond to it instead of just remaining reactive. It's okay to be reactive. It's not okay to remain reactive because that destroys life earlier. Emotional balance. We are educated people, means we are special, we are something different. प्रत्येक गोष्ट विचार करून बघितली पाहिजे, विज्ञान आधारित जगलं पाहिजे. Dangerous. Be watchful, very watchful of such brains, and find out what has gone wrong with their hearts. This balance is mandatory to live life. And finally, adaptive action. काय घडलं, मग आता काय आणि कसं हँडल करायचं, या थिंकिंग मध्ये लोकांना आणता आलं पाहिजे. In another 2 words to say to live a healthy natural life is living a balanced, complete and a whole life. And a balanced and a complete whole life may appear very elusive, पण असं नाही आहे. It is possible, and that is possible. I'll tell you how in the last part of the presentation. What happens when stress is? We all know this. We have read about stress, Hans Selye, autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic balance, and sympathetic taking over the parasympathetic activity and throwing an array of reactions which gives us maladaptation. Why disease happens? Because stress, because we are not whole, we are not complete, because we do not have complete self-realization. And how can this be attended to is the question. Stress is a purely internal phenomena. It is experienced by us human beings, though it can have external manifestations. मला अँजिओप्लास्टीची गरज पडणं याचा अर्थ माझ्या वर्क प्लेसमध्ये खूप स्ट्रेस आहे असं जर होत असेल तर मी ते प्रोजेक्ट करतोय. प्रॉब्लेम माझा आहे. वर्क प्लेस न्यूट्रल आहे, सिस्टम न्यूट्रल आहे, पण मला जर वाटत असेल की तुम्ही मला त्रास देताय तर हा माझ्या मेंदूचा, माझ्या इंटरप्रिटेशन ॲबिलिटीचा काहीतरी गोळ आहे. ह्याची जाणीव मला नसली तरी देणं भाग आहे. ह्याच्याकरता सिस्टम मधले लोकांना प्रोएक्टिव्ह होणं जरुरी आहे. Now some simple photographs so that we can remember. Most of us have this quest when everything is, I need peace in life. Means I am not at peace with myself. It's an internal meaning. someone who is within his own self, the given natural self, the unconditioned self, will always be at peace. Loss of control, emotional control, and any change, it does not have to be negative. प्रमोशन झालं माझं, प्रमोशन झाल्यावर इतका हर्ष झाला की मी फंक्शनच करू शकलो नाही. काय उपयोगाचं ते प्रमोशन? Okay, so positive and negative life events can cause stress. It's a state of anxiety when I feel that my coping ability or my resource is falling short of what I am given to cope. In language of physics, it is wear and tear. So this is the person who brought this term stress, Hans Selye, and he gave his own theories about it. Okay, it's a non-specific response. There is no hallmark response. एखाद्या व्यक्ती स्ट्रेस मध्ये आहे ओळखण्याची कला त्या व्यक्तीला बारीक ऑब्झर्व करता आलं पाहिजे, ऑब्जेक्टिव्हिटीतनं, न की सब्जेक्टिव्हिटीतनं. Whether the demand produces pleasure or pain is immaterial. And then we know this graph, how the stressor presents. After the stressor comes, the body throws a reaction, then it tries to resist. If the resistance works, then it returns to the equilibrium. If it doesn't, then the homeostasis is never attained. Chronic stress, like a separated relationship, like माझी इच्छा होती तेव्हा मी सुपर स्पेशालिस्ट व्हावं, पण ती आजही अपूर्ण आहे. ती आजची अपूर्णता माझे 20 वर्षांनंतरचं आयुष्य बिघडवते, याची जाणीव मला असते नसते फ्लक्च्युएट होत राहते. दॅट इज क्रॉनिक स्ट्रेस. क्रॉनिक स्ट्रेस मधलं मनुष्य इलनेस मध्ये जातो आणि इव्हेंच्युअली डेथ मध्ये जातो. Maladaptive coping is a problem, and we all need to look into this problem very, very seriously. How does that maladaptive coping show up? राग, आनंद, दुःख. आनंद नसतो त्याच्यात, दुःखच असतं. सुडो आनंद इज अगेन लपलेलं दुःख. And a person feels curtailed and blocked. व्यक्ती व्यक्त करणारे म्हणतात की मला वे आउटच नाहीये, आत्महत्या हे सोल्युशन आहे, दुसरा काही पर्यायच राहिलेला नाहीये, म्हणून मला हे असं करावंसं वाटतंय, करायचं आहे, कारण सगळे दुसरे पर्याय संपलेले आहेत. दिस इज हाऊ द लॉक्ड स्टेट ऑफ सेल्फ शोज अप. ओके, दॅट इट इज टू बी अंडरस्टूड. आपण फॅसिलिटेटर जिथे कुठे असाल त्या ठिकाणी डोंट से की हे चूक आहे, असं नाही बोलू, हे अभद्र बोलणं आहे, हे सगळे भाष्य चुकीचे आहेत. तिथे योग्य भाष्य असे, ओके आत्महत्या करावीशी वाटते, मी समजू शकतो, केव्हा, कसं, काय आणलंय, कशाने करणार आहेस, कधी दिवसापासून ठरवलंय, आणि हे सगळं झाल्यानंतर एकदा खात्री जमा झाली की बा आताच्या आता नाही आहे, नंतरचं आहे, तर मग काय झालं नेमकं, आत काही घडलं का बाहेरून कोणी काही बोललं. बाहेरून कोणी काही बोललं जरी असलं तरी आतमधलं मिसइंटरप्रिटेशन असू शकतं. मग असं सगळं अनफोल्ड करत जायचं. तर फर्स्ट थिंग इज गिव्ह अ रिसिव्हिंग एंड टू दॅट स्ट्रोक. आपण रिसिव्हिंग एंड द्यायलाच तयार नाही. अरे माझ्यावर येईल, नको, मला ब्लेम करतील, नको, माझं नाव लिहून टाकतील, नको, सुइसाइड नोटमध्ये जर माझं नाव आलं तर माझं पायल तडवी होईल. This is our problem in the system at present with maladaptive coping. ह्याचे निरनिराळे प्रकार आहेत. सबस्टन्स अब्यूज, रुमिनेटिंग, इमोशनली नंबिंग. मला आनंदही नाही दुःखही नाही, पीजी मिळालं पण आता खुश होऊ का दुःखी होऊ मला माहित नाही. दॅट इज द प्रेझेंट स्टेट ऑफ अफेअर्स. इन सुपर स्पेशालिटी वन ऑफ द रेसिडेंट्स थ्राइस वेंट ऑफ, फोर्थ टाइम अगेन केम, नो आय विल डू. वी थिंक दॅट खूप ज्ञान आहे, खूप बुद्धी आहे, खूप मोठे अचिव्हमेंट आहे, तर तो मनुष्य आत खुशच असेल. नॉट नेसेसरी, इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी. खुश राहणं हे पहिलं आपलं धर्म आहे, ह्याची जाणीवच दिलेली जात नाही. सेकंड, एस्केपिंग, अवॉइडिंग ड्युटीज. वी हॅव अ कलीग who is there seen in the evidence-based system, in the biometrics, everywhere. But when it comes to performance, he is not there, because something is wrong somewhere. Then intrusive thoughts, daydreaming, procrastination, self-harm, blaming self and blaming others, behavioral disengagement in challenging situations. हे मी करूच शकणार नाही, मी प्रयत्न सुद्धा करणार नाही. Risk taking behaviors, sexual risk taking, financial risk taking, very commonly seen. Then safety behaviors, always attaching the self to such personalities where decision making will be done by others, not taking responsibility. Then anxious avoidance, binge eating is the way it shows up as compensation. Now I come to the second part, that is stress reactions. हे माझे टीचर आहेत डॉक्टर निलेश शाह सर. स्ट्रेस रिॲक्शन्स बद्दल ह्यांच्यापेक्षा उत्कृष्ट डॉक्युमेंटेशन दुसरं मला सापडलं नाही, म्हणून मी सरांचे ह्या स्लाइड्स घेतल्या आहेत. फर्स्ट रिॲक्शन इज फ्लाइट, सेकंड रिॲक्शन इज फाइट, थर्ड रिॲक्शन इज फ्रीज. आयदर ऑफ इट कॅन हॅपन. ठीक आहे. फ्लाइट इज यू रन अवे फ्रॉम द सिच्युएशन. Run away, literally speaking, is avoiding. If you can't, then you start doing positive things like jogging, walking, swimming, riding a bicycle, going for a drive, playing outdoor games, exercising, aerobics, dance. It is our preparedness for or readiness to fight. Whenever stress will be, आपल्याला anticipation येतं की आता त्याची भेट झाली की मला टेन्शन येणार आहे. मग ते डिस्चार्ज कसं करायचं, तर हेल्दी मेथड्स पण आहेत. Whenever you are faced with stress, learn to say no. एखाद्या व्यक्तीच्या बरोबर आपल्याला नाही कम्फर्टेबल वाटत आहे, पण someone is asking some undue favor, you are not okay with it, we have difficulty saying no. त्याला वाईट वाटलं तर काय, अरे पण माझं काय होणार आहे. Learn to acknowledge our own need, learn to say no, and find some decent excuse so that you are within the social framework also and you have said no also. Again, you seek help. Like in this situation that I described, the girl who's come up with NEET UG and 3 attempts and then joined at hostel. Now the prelims are over and there is some time before the university begins. So what is to be done? Her solution was, I'll be with family and I'll study, because as it is being here is of no support, no help. Hostelites feel that they are threatened because of her presence. I acknowledged, okay, fine. As a healer, it's a good solution. One remained connected with administration, informed dean and so on, and this solution was implemented. So friends, well-wishers, teachers, anybody who you think can support you in times of distress has to be neared, has to be approached, and we have to, as facilitators, be approachable. Where such bonds are not available, non-judgmental, empathic brains in the family physician, counselor or psychiatrist can also be approached too. Then we come to his fight, getting into arguments, actually fighting, and in our field we see litigations. That is how people fight. So whatever abilities we have to use those abilities to fight out the stress. We have to learn to use our thought process in a way such that we are solving puzzles. You are always giving strokes to the brain rather than saying की मला जमणारच नाही, प्रयत्नवादात यायचा. Face the problem, consider different options. This is rational thinking. Learn to weigh the pros and cons and select one of the options and act on it. When the gut feeling is not active, we have to depend on intellect. When the gut feeling is active, we don't have to depend on intellect. And the gut feeling remains active only when we remain connected with ourselves. Nature has given gut feeling to all of us. It is only to tune in. And to tune in into gut feeling, what is needed is acknowledge chatter as a chatter. And it will stop confounding your gut feeling. Then freeze or faint. Freeze or faint is I can't take a decision. The stimuli are so overwhelming that I am into a state of paralysis. Under such circumstances, shift responsibility to the divine, to the cosmic energy. होईल सगळं, देव सगळ्यांचं चांगलं करतो, मी कोणाचं वाईट केलं नाही, माझंही चांगलंच होईल. इट इज नॉट कंपल्सरी टू बी सायंटिफिक 24/7. Okay, these are our practices. Tying a lemon and chili to the new car or in the car, or having curd before going to exams, going to temple or a place of worship, doing shavasana. Just being is what matters rather than compulsively doing. This is what I'm trying to emphasize. Symbolically speaking, sit over the problem. Okay, usually happens in our system. Files don't move. People keep thinking, finding solutions, and then someday the implementation happens. Wait and watch, buy time, spend time, go away from the question, and then come back again. So get into extracurricular world, read books, play music, learn dancing, socializing. थोडक्यात काय तर स्ट्रेस मॅनेज करत असताना लर्निंग ॲबिलिटी फंक्शन मध्ये आली पाहिजे. लर्निंग ॲबिलिटी जिथे आहे तिथे स्ट्रेस मॅनेजमेंट सहज शक्य आहे. लर्निंग ॲबिलिटी बरोबरच सेल्फचं कनेक्ट. नाव we'll come to a second part, that is resilience. It is considered to be antidote to stress. आता आपल्याला इंटेलेक्च्युअली हे सगळे इश्यूज वाटले, कसं मॅनेज करायचं, काय करायचं, तर ह्या प्रॅक्टिसेस ठेवा. गुड प्रॅक्टिसेस मध्ये ऑटोमॅटिकली तुम्ही रेझिलियंट होता आणि स्ट्रेस मॅनेजमेंट होतं. कसं? एक्सलन्स सिकिंग राहू द्या, नॉट परफेक्शन. देर इज नथिंग लाईक परफेक्ट एंटिटी so far human behavior is concerned. Okay, so perfectionist tendency will always give you procrastination, will always give you rumination, will always give you indecisiveness, will always give you guilt, will always give you I am incomplete feeling, and that incomplete feeling is something which will drag you badly. Second is be kind. Even if I am angry to you, you still feel that you need to be kind to me, is something unusual. In spirituality they say that if a person has committed a murder, what led him to commit to the murder, try to understand that fellow rather than just punishing that fellow. Then gratitude, like Supriya ma'am today morning was expressing about the gratitude everybody felt. VC ma'am down to earth came, took everybody together on the round. Gratitude expression, being thankful to everything. Watchfulness, काय होतंय ह्याच्यावरती ऑब्जेक्टिव्हली नजर ठेवायची. हा विचार आला, त्याबरोबर ही भावना आली, त्याबरोबर ही कृती करावंसं वाटलं. मेनी पीपल ॲक्च्युअली डू नॉट अटेम्प्ट सुइसाइड, पण दे थिंक कि ओ ट्रक के नीचे आ जाएगा तो छूट जाएगा. मेंटली पैसिव सुइसाइडल आइडियाज आर ऑलरेडी देयर. तो अ पर्सन इन स्ट्रेस हैज टू बी ऑब्जर्व्ड, हैज टू बी वॉच्ड for abnormal behavior. Humor makes life livable. Say medical student intern proposes a girl and the girl says, no, I need a settled man. What is that man to do? Okay, the person can laugh at it, the person can cry with it, or the person can feel angry that I've got a rejection. Various reactions are possible. Where humor is, life becomes livable. Then being mindful. Mind is a monkey which jumps into the past and into the future. You just be present. Acha, he jumped into the past. Acha, he's jumping into the future. That mindfulness has to be practiced. And forgiveness and relationships. Forgiveness, as Lord Buddha says, gives us peace rather than the person to whom we are angry about. And relationships. एक गोष्ट जाणवते की प्रत्येक ह्युमन लाईफमध्ये अपार्ट फ्रॉम व्होकेशन जर काही महत्वाचं असेल तर ते एक नातं असतं. आणि त्या नात्यामध्ये नॉन जजमेंटॅलिटी असणारं नातं हवं आणि स्वीकारणारं नातं हवं. आपले स्ट्रेंथ्स, विकनेसेस स्वीकारणारं एक नातं असायला पाहिजे. आणि ते तसं असलं की मग तरून जातो मनुष्य. सो नाव मोमेंटमध्ये बिंग काइंड आपल्याला घेऊन येतं नेहमी. तर हे सगळे एक्सप्लेनेशन्स आहेत अबाउट दॅट पर्टिक्युलर पॉझिटिव्ह बिहेवियर. आय हॅव केप्ट द PPT हिअर ऑन द सिस्टम. इट कॅन बी टेकन इफ नीडेड. वी आर इन अ कॉम्पिटेटिव्ह वर्ल्ड अँड अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ कम्पॅरिझन्स. बुद्धी निसर्गाने दिली नामस्मरणासाठी, देवाच्या नावासाठी किंवा कशासाठी, पण आपण त्याचा वापर करतो तू कसा दिसतो आणि मी कसा दिसतो. अनफॉर्च्युनेट, एक्स्ट्रीमली अनफॉर्च्युनेट. विज्ञानाने आपल्याला शिकवलं की माझा DNA माझाच आहे, तुमचा माझा असूच शकत नाही, तरी सुद्धा आपली बुद्धी एकमेकाला तुलना करते. दॅट इज द शोकांतिका ऑफ बुद्धी. सो and that has given rise to this useless thing called competitiveness. So cooperativeness and collaborativeness is the need of the hour. If we can get people into these values, then we have done our little. Being in the witnessing mode, am I feeling anxious? मला उद्याची काळजी वाटायला लागली आहे का, किंवा उद्याच्या बाबतीत काहीतरी ग्रीड निर्माण झाली का, मला हे मिळणार आहे मग मला कसं वाटेल, किंवा मला कालचं काही रिग्रेट आहे का, ह्याच्याबद्दल विटनेस करण्याची आपली सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्टिव्ह अबिलिटी यूज करणे. लाईक वन ऑफ अवर कलिग्स सेड दॅट, रिफ्लेक्टिव्हनेस. अँड मिस्टेक्स, या मिस्टेक्स डू हॅपन. where 2 + 2 is 4 and we put it as 3 or 5, then it's a mistake. Admit the mistake. Try not to repeat the same mistake again. Make a new mistake, but don't feel fearful that I will not try only. Humor. In humor, one doesn't act on the negative thought. A person laughs at oneself. पण अनफॉर्च्युनेटली सिस्टम मध्ये काय शिकवलं जातं, दुसऱ्याच्या कमीपणावर हसा. उलट जग आहे. So we have to correct it. We have to learn to laugh at ourselves. Okay? And in such a manner that you don't make other feel guilty about it. Mindfulness. If I am mindful of myself, my happiness, my well-being, then it will automatically reflect in my patient's health. Unhappy doctor cannot give happy patients. Forgiveness, we talked. Letting go of the pain. एकच गोष्ट धरून ठेवायची, वर्षानुवर्ष धरून ठेवायची, वर्षानुवर्ष नाही तर प्रोजिनीज मध्ये धरून ठेवायची. आय विल साऊंड व्हेरी अनरिअलिस्टिक नाव. इंडिया अँड पाकिस्तान इज एन एक्झाम्पल ऑफ दिस. ओके. देन रिलेशनशिप्स. हॅव्हिंग अ ट्रस्टेड सिग्निफिकंट अदर, हॅव्हिंग रिलेशनशिप्स विच हॅव कमिटमेंट, पॅशन, कंपॅशन, एव्हरीथिंग. दे गिव्ह अ लास्टिंग सपोर्ट टू अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल. मनोविकार झालेल्या व्यक्तीची पूर्ण जबाबदारी घ्या असं माझं म्हणणं नाही, किंवा डिस्ट्रेसमध्ये असलेल्याचं संपूर्ण दायित्व आपण घ्यायचं अशातलाही भाग नाही. त्याला घाबरणं बंद करायचं आणि त्याला शक्यतो इंटलेक्च्युअली सपोर्ट प्रोव्हाइड करायचा. इमोशनल सपोर्ट द्यायला लागलं तर आपण कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्टमध्ये येतो, इथिकल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्समध्ये येतो. लाईक डॉक्टर फॉलिंग इन लव्ह विथ पेशंट्स. इट कॅन हॅपन. सो दिस इज अ कंटिन्युअम. It is not absolute health or absolute distress or absolute illness. That fluctuation can happen, it keeps happening, and there are so many factors which go in to make an understanding about it. Now, when we come to the further thing, we start understanding what is happening to us, we start knowing our reactions. Then the issue is, मग आता मी याचं काय करू? माझ्याकडे चॉईस आहे का काही? तर आन्सर इज येस, चॉईस इज ऑलवेज चॉईस इज. अँड वेन यू रिअलाइज द चॉईस, दॅट इज वेअर यू आर कनेक्टेड विथ ट्रू सेल्फ. चॉईसला ऑब्स्टेकल काय? रिजिडिटी, पर्सनॅलिटी प्रॉब्लेम, हेकट स्वभाव. ह्याचे स्वरूप असे असतात. सेल्फ ब्लेम, एकतर लोकांना दोष देणे किंवा स्वतःला दोष देणे. दोष दिला की विषय संपला, जबाबदारी येतच नाही. त्यानंतर तुम्ही जर मला हे दिलं तर मग मी ते करीन, एंटायटलमेंट स्वतःची. देन देर आर सम 300+ कॉग्निटिव्ह एरर्स. हे कॉमन आहेत, ते मी नोट केलेत. मी जर MRC पास झालो तरच मग मी चांगला डॉक्टर, नाही तर मी काहीच नाही. त्यानंतर फॉर्च्यून टेलिंग, मला माहिती आहे माझं असंच होणार आहे, मी परीक्षेत नापासच होणार आहे. These are all errors of cognition. माझ्यात काही चांगलं मला दिसतच नाही, मी असा वाईट आहे, मी तशी वाईट आहे, माझं हे चांगलं नाही, माझं ते वाईट आहे, अँड सो ऑन. त्यांनी माझ्याशी बोललंच पाहिजे, त्याशिवाय माझा दिवसच चांगला जात नाही. व्हॉट इज दिस? शोर स्टेटमेंट, डेंजरस. ओके, रिझनिंग म्हटलं की ते लॉजिकल पाहिजे, इमोशनल नाही उपयोगाचं. तर हे सगळे वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे रिजिड थिंकिंग पॅटर्न्स ह्युमन ब्रेन्स मध्ये बघितले गेलेत. हे फक्त काही सॅम्पल्स आहेत. दे आर मोर दॅन 100, 200, 300 असं एक मोठं सर्कल आणि ते पॅटर्न्सचं चित्र आहे. सो इट अगेन कम्स टू आय एम होल अँड अ कम्प्लीट इन माय सेल्फ. इंटलेक्च्युअली आणि इमोशनली प्रोसेसिंग होऊन ते जर आपण नाही अराईव्ह करत असू तर कसं करणार? आयडियल सेल्फ, तू हे केलं पाहिजेस, तू हे शिकलाच पाहिजेस. पेरेंट्स सेइंग टू द चिल्ड्रन और द चाइल्ड सेइंग टू द सेल्फ. द सेल्फ इमेज, मी नाही करू शकणार नाही, मला माहिती आहे माझी ती वृत्ती नाही आहे, माझ्या वृत्तीबद्दल माझं ज्ञान मी कधीच तपासलं नाही, पण मला माहिती आहे. दॅट इज द डेंजरस पार्ट ऑफ इट. आणि ऍक्च्युअल ट्रू सेल्फ जो गिव्हन असतो, वेन ऑल दिस इज इन अलाइनमेंट, इन कॉन्ग्रुअन्स, दॅट इज हेल्थ. वेन दॅट इज नॉट, देन इट्स अ प्रॉब्लेम. तर इथे कसं यायचं, इथे कसं राहायचं, प्रत्येक संस्कृतीची आपली आपली एक सिस्टम असते. काय सिस्टम असते? एनी आयडियाज? सेल्फ नॉलेज होण्याच्या करताचं सिस्टम, तपश्चर्या. ओके, म्हणजे कीप ट्राईंग, कीप ट्राईंग, कीप ट्राईंग. ओके, व्हॉट एल्स?
Realize that everything except me is impermanent.
Okay, impermanence, so don't get stuck up into it, don't get attached to it. Fine, what else? Complete involvement. You're talking exactly opposite of what he's saying. Complete detachment. Okay, and if that situation starts dragging you into it totally, then what? Exactly, where the awareness comes from. Who gives awareness? स्वतःचा स्वतःला अवेअरनेस कसा येईल? गुरु. देयर इज द राईट आन्सर. गुरु, गुरु, गुरु अँड दॅट गुरुचं ब्लेसिंग्स, गुरुची कृपा. दॅट इज हाऊ दॅट सेल्फ अवेअरनेस बिल्ड्स इन पीपल. So, having said all that, what little bit I could understand from science, it ultimately comes to this: you get disconnected from your true self and you're going to have stress. I went to my Guru Mitra and asked him certain questions, and these are the answers that I found. What does work mean? It is performing duty, living the duty that is given to the self. Second is, life means what? Living the inner clues, not the outer strokes. Inner clues have to be responded to. Purpose is fulfilling the duty towards another with appropriate reward, which also includes satisfaction. सिस्टमचं आहे सगळं, आपण सिस्टमचेच आहोत. मग आपलं काय? आपलं समाधान, आत्मिक समाधान जगल्याचं. Purpose is to unfold, manifest and materialize our own self. In the context of insecurity, that will never happen. By default, inside we are complete and whole. This is what we have to realize. And that realization जेव्हा टिकून राहील, त्यावेळेस we'll be able to function in a balance. The energy resource, आपलं स्त्रोत, आपलं आत्मविश्वासाचं स्त्रोत, आत्म, सेल्फ, has to be nurtured, attended to, heard and manifested. आपणच जर नाही केलं तर कोण करणार आहे आपल्यासाठी? इथे आपण येतो. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
सर, मी आता रिसेंटली माझी PhD कंप्लीट केली. माझा विषय पंचकोश होता.
Sir. Sir.
आणि मला असं जाणवलं की तुम्ही त्यातल्या प्रत्येक ऍस्पेक्टला टच केले. दॅट वॉज अ सायंटिफिक व्हर्जन ऑफ व्हॉट आय डिड ॲज अ पार्ट ऑफ माय PhD.
I am grateful, sir.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
In Ayurveda and Upanishadic terms also, self means Atma. So while as a psychiatrist, do you mean that word only from self-realization or introspection?
Sir, let's go to Abraham Maslow. You must have read Maslow. There we talk of denial to realization of the self to actualization of the self, and in the last year of Maslow's writing, he has written that it is an incomplete theory. It is transcendence of the self. So that is health. But what I deal with is pathology, selfची pathology, identity, आणि आयडेंटिटीला सराउंडिंग सगळे थिंकिंग, फिलिंग आणि ऍक्शन्स इन द व्हेरियस डिसऑर्डर्स फॉर्म. I deal with that. So I'm also referring to the same self.
Same thing.
Yes.
Again, like the mind, mana, you can realize, though it is subtle. Beyond that, there is a buddhi or wisdom or intellect. That also we can realize. But it is difficult to realize the self. And very few can do it like Sant Dhaneshwar or.
Which is why Guru Kripa becomes important. And so far science goes, mind is to be understood as a function of brain. Brain dies, mind has to die. Awareness, consciousness, Chaitanya is not mind.
And last question. Knowing everything is that this needs to be followed. Like psychologists and psychiatrists must be knowing all these things. But it is difficult to apply this in real life.
Definitely, sir. Maya. Yes. Maya holds the key. Yes.
I don't have much reading about this, but probably the concept of drishta is what is.
Drashta, one who sees beyond time and space.
And also is able to see oneself.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, you solved one of my case. Recently, I am dealing with one patient with a psychosomatic disorder of anxiety neurosis.
Okay.
And in spite of giving the counseling and giving the best constitutional medicine which was previously acted, she is not feeling recently well. You are but flight and fight model.
Yes.
Solve my problem today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Two situations
Yes, please, sir.
which might be, I think most of us might be facing.
Okay.
Since we most of us are dealing with students and with colleague faculties, the most commonest issues which we deal with students are incompetence among the students and overconfidence among the students.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes it becomes difficult to handle them or tackle the issues. And it gives a lot of psychological issues for them and us.
Yes, sir.
And for faculty, sometimes due to accessory reasons, there are a bit of insecurities among faculty.
Yes.
Or sometimes there are overreactions among the colleagues.
Yes.
So these are two situations, one the student situation and the faculty situation.
Yes.
How can we manage such
Yes, sir.
issues?
Both the questions point towards emotional intelligence. Rather than doing problem solving, have you seen two girls talking to each other? They just want to express. व्यक्त झाले की ते मुक्त होऊन जातात, तो विषय संपतो. ती स्पेस आपण स्टुडंट्सला द्यायला लागलं पाहिजे, आणि त्या याच्यामध्ये बॉन्डिंग सुरू झालं की मग त्याचे बिलीफ्स काय ते कळायला लागतं. मी माझ्या गावाकडे पहिला होतो, इथे आल्यावर माझं अस्तित्व शून्य झालंय, मग आता मी कसं करू? मग मी सुडो कॉन्फिडन्स मध्ये जातो. कोणाला दिसलं नाही पाहिजे ना माझं अस्तित्व शून्य झाल्याचं, कारण सिस्टमनी मला शिकवलंय चूक लपवावी, सांगू नये कधी. That is with understanding with the students. And students who are depressed, you support them. काय त्यांचे बिलीफ्स आहेत. काही जण इकॉनॉमिक्स घेऊन येतात तिथे, ते फक्त शिकायला नाही आलेले असतात, त्यांच्यावर जबाबदाऱ्या असतात, आणि जर नाही यशस्वी झालं तर कसं सेल्फ डाऊट मध्ये जातात. मग अशा वेळेला सपोर्टिंग देम, शोईंग देम देअर स्ट्रेंथ्स बिकम्स अ इम्पॉर्टंट पार्ट. राहिला फॅकल्टीजचा, वी ऑल फॅकल्टीज are working in a paranoid atmosphere. It is a very stressful atmosphere. Because of over functioning intellect, तो असं करेल, मग हे असं करेल, मग ते झालेलं आहे, मी दोनदा चारदा पाहिलेलं आहे, म्हणून मला असं वागणं भाग आहे. म्हणजे आपण स्वतःचंही स्वास्थ्य गमावून बसतो त्याच्यामध्ये. येस मॅम.
Yes, sir. Like the policy makers need a kind of a dose of this before they frame policies.
Okay.
They should kind of be able to foresee the impact
Okay.
of some of the like or whatever is happening on ground. taking that into account, you are framing a policy, and you know how these barriers are leading to
Untoward
unforeseen
events.
consequences,
Yes.
which will make the problem worse rather
Yes.
than helping it.
Yes,
anyway.
yes.
So I think
Your point is taken. How to bring it in a policy form? That is the question I got. Yes.
I do math. I mean, we all recently underwent the process of NAT.
Okay.
So, you know, there are times when I felt we were moving away from what we are supposed to do. I mean, educating the students to become professionals. And there was so much demand on so many extra things. I mean, I do agree some extracurricular and this thing is needed. But how far are we supposed to stretch it out? Because our curriculum is heavy. It's not like BSc or, even an engineering degree for that matter. So there are so many things and clinics and everything involved.
So long humanities percolates into medical education, or for that matter health profession education, in a 50% form, this issue will remain. Medical humanities or humanities in medicine, health profession education has to become a part of it. It is going so evidence based. It is going so evidence based that the entire purpose of making doctor is getting lost. On one side, we see AI is about to replace most of the work of a doctor. On another side, we have stakeholder patients as human beings. And on third side, we have doctors in conflict about their own existence. So the answer to this puzzle is humanities.
I'll talk to you after the session.
Yes,
In the
ma'am.
context of humanities only, sir. The second thing, just since the AI thing came up just yesterday, so it seems like Mark Zuckerberg wanted to buy another AI establishment started by an Indian, it's an Indian lady's name, I can't remember. So she, for a huge amount he offered, so she refused, and then he tried to buy off the team, with very high, salaries
Stakes,
of
yeah.
billions of dollars, etc. So everyone refused. So it's like the ray of hope, because that team is working or using AI not to lay off people or reduce man jobs, but to see what betterment can cause to humanity. So they have a social perspective in their, their organization is going to be working like that. So that tells us, okay, it's not just about money and like the way AI is, how the jobs are being, like laid off, people are being, it's very disturbing to read those news in the morning. So
Definitely.
this was such a welcome news. I'll share it on the group. And
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so
Sir, continuing with fireman's about social media. So like there is continuously changing and updating scenario of social media, AI and all. So many of the people are not able to cope up with it. Students also, the parents also. So how to deal with these situations? Like
minimum required. Second, undue exposure has to be avoided. When undue exposure is happening, you have to start questioning what is gone missing inside. Has happiness gone missing? Has anger surfaced? That has to be questioned.
about the students those who are using mobile,
Yeah.
how they are going to rescue them? Like nobody is watching them.
Exactly. So we have to develop a self-regulated population. That I'll regulate you, it's no more the world. It has to be self-regulated, self-driven. The answer again comes back to knowledge of self. माझं काही ध्येयच नाही आहे, मला काही करायचंच नाही आहे, तुम्ही काय करताय त्याच्यात मला इंटरेस्ट नाही, मग मी काहीतरी करतो, टाइम किलिंग करतो, त्याने मला आनंद नाही मिळत, हॅपीनेस नाही मिळत, प्लेजर इन मराठी आय एम अनेबल टू पुट इट, तर त्याच्यासाठी मी करत राहतो, and then I get addicted to it.
So one more question is the participant just asked. So like when we are dealing with students, we saw the maladaptive,
Yes.
symptomatology.
Yes, yes.
You can say. So how do we see the red flags in the students?
Performance gets affected.
So this is nice to say, but when somebody is in that maladaptive phase, they're not able to understand, they're not able to listen, they don't know usko kaise handle karna.
That is where mentoring comes in. Mentorship comes in. You talk to the students regularly. Don't make that fellow feel or that girl feel ki तुझ्याशीच एकटीशी बोलतोय. You talk with everybody, and then when you find the situation is a little out of balance here, then you spend more time and then know more about it. Generally, Students who have joined HPE, they are aware त्यांच्या बरोबर काय होतंय. They have that intelligence to know. Some may not have. Then the question again becomes more, is this psychosis underlying? In such situations, professional help can be taken.
So students are facing nowadays a lot of family issues,
Yes.
family conflicts, many of them, and relationship issues,
Yes.
and they are sharing with the faculties. But
Yes.
now I see the faculties are getting stressed
Yes.
and they are getting involved with their emotional issues.
Yes, that's what I said. We have to be participant, we have to be neutral like a mirror, reflective. Because faculty starts solving the problem instead of helping the person learn how to solve the problem, this issue comes up.
They should learn on their own.
Yes.
But we don't know how much they are involved.
No, involvement is dangerous. Attachment is dangerous. Yes, ma'am.
Because in our institute, we have started something called as we have an in-house psychologist.
Yes.
So because I don't have all the tools.
Yes.
Sometimes, handle or tackle or
Yes.
strategize what
Yes.
the
Yes.
child needs, So when I see a point where I feel she needs help and I can't provide, so we help them to take appointments.
Chhatra Manas Yojana.
And
Yes.
so I think that would be a way out. How many students?
Ma'am, without sounding that I am making an overgeneralization, being human means being vulnerable. Yet to come across a human with 100% total insight and graceful acceptance of it. Some element of self-denial, some element of self-distortion, some element of self-doubt is the norm. And they need help. We are there to help each other. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, any simple remedy, because we ourselves have to face the students, patients, psychosomatic, so it finally starts affecting us.
Nahi.
So something upon like
Nahi.
our battery charge.
Yes, you have to remain in that neutral state.
So now parents are also getting.
Yes, they come, they inform. तुम्हीच बघा आता आमच्या मुलाचे तुम्हीच पालक आहात. This is what has not to be allowed. Should nahi, should statement nahi. Yeah, we are there to support, पण it is a team work. याची जाणीव द्यायला पाहिजे. आणि जितकं मानसिक तणाव अधिक आहे तितकं एकास एक असा सपोर्ट लागतो. Yes, malingering. When you have intentions and motives clear in this particular situation, what are the gains associated? त्यावेळेस आपण ते डिकोड करतो तसं की he wants sympathy, he wants pity, he wants some marks. तसं.
At my level, it gets difficult. I don't know whether really that student is young, but if you don't listen to them, then that also becomes.
No, you listen. Although at the time of listening, you have to be non-judgmental, but keep deciphering. What am I dealing with? Is this malingering? But under state of persecution, it is possible that a genuine matter may be labeled as malingering. That you have to be watchful.
Sir, so whom should we go and tell all these things that is getting piled up inside us?
You have to have colleagues to share with. तू कसं डील केलंस, तुझी प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग काय आहे, माझी मेथड अशी होती, मला हा परिणाम मिळाला, तुला काय जाणवलं. व्यक्त तोच मुक्त. डोंट होल्ड एनिथिंग. ओके. Supriya ma'am, I think we're done.
Any other questions? Sorry, I have a positive story to share.
Please.
Yes. So in the previous physiotherapy college where I was working, so of course I had that kind of one-to-one connect with students because I was able to give time earlier and all that. So there used to be many students who used to come up personally with their issues and all that. There were many, but then one of them came crying and all that, and he had some relationship issues plus then issues at home. So to the extent that she had suicidal thoughts. So what I did means I reported it to our principal ma'am that such a thing has happened.
She was so kind enough and so good to guide that she asked me to write an incident report. We also have a very nice functioning mentor-mentee program at the college. So that gave me a direction. So, the incident report was done, everything was documented. Plus, then I did not try to handle the situation at my level. I talked to the student, I counseled it. I made her understand that it is necessary to seek professional help and refer her to the psychiatry department. To the extent I went along with her, and later after times, sessions of therapy, she thanked me, ma'am, like, thank you for being there, because then at that time I was just means I was in a different state of mind, but you just guided me to the right person. So then the psychiatry and psychology department, they took hold of it, and she's better now.
Yes.
So reporting to the correct
Paperwork
authorities-
will always give a secure feeling.
Exactly. Secure, and
It
then-
will give a secure feeling that I have done enough, I have taken honest effort to abort a bad situation. But still, situations are situations. How they will turn remains volatile.
So it is up to us.
That
And
tells us
then
about our vulnerability. As professionals, we are vulnerable because while working with another human being, there are n number of emotions we are dealing with that person. काय केल्याने, कसं वागल्याने काय परिणाम होणार आहे ह्याचं मॅथ प्रत्येक वेळेसच ॲक्युरेटली प्रेडिक्ट होईल हे सांगता येत नाही. येस मॅम.
And one last question. So I'm a firm believer in spirituality, definitely. But then at times, do you get patients who are believers plus there are atheists? So if at all you try to explain them that there is some power overpowering, or there is some divine, to believe in things like they will be taken care of by the divine. So is it difficult, or how is your perspective towards
आता सिंपल सिच्युएशन सांगतो. माझ्या एका कलिगच्या घरी गेलो होतो, मावशी होती त्याची. स्वामी माझ्याकडून पोळ्या लाटून घेतात. नाउ विल यू अज्युम दिस टू बी अ सिम्पटम? इन सायकॅट्री देर इज अ नेम फॉर दॅट सिम्पटम. और विल यू अज्युम दिस टू बी टेकन केअर ऑफ बाय स्पिरिच्युअल व्हॅल्यूज? हां. So it is again perception. जो काही सगळा खेळ खंडोबा आहे तो अपेक्षा आणि दृष्टिकोनाचा आहे. नॉट नेसेसरी की तुम्ही प्रत्येकालाच त्या सायन्सच्या चौकटीत आणून बसवा, जरुरीच नाही आहे. ते व्यक्ती जगणं महत्वाचं आहे, त्याच्या जगात आनंदी राहणं महत्वाचं आहे. येस.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, and it was a wonderful session.
Thanks, ma'am.
Let's give a huge round of applause.
Grateful.